What's going on, everybody? Hope you're all staying healthy and having a great day. In this video, we are finally going to be disassembling that Rx580 rig up there on the top shelf. I'm going to be installing it on a 30-inch tall Home Depot small wire rack. To be honest, that frame up there I actually kind of threw together. These are only 6 GPU frames, so to add 12 GPUs to it, ripped off the top of another mining rig to add it on it. So to be honest, the way I did that, I never really liked it from the beginning. It's just kind of zip tied and sitting on top of the other one, and to be honest, the cards are really close together, so that rig gets a little hotter than it should. I'm hoping the airflow on this new rack system that I'm going to install it on is going to be a lot better. So in the midst of that, I'm also going to try to swap out my 1600 watt Platinum P2 PSU by EVGA that is up in the top left corner. This is a 1200 watt HP power supply with one of those new Game Changer boards. I'm going to try to put this in that place and see how that pans out. So what we're going to use is the old prototype version hangers. I have 11 of them here, and then the 12th one I'm going to be doing something a little different. Something that we came up with as well for a desktop mount. This is a new, this one says Chump Change because I wanted it to say Chump Change, but we will have both available if you guys want to get one of these. There's going to be a Misfit Mining one and a Chump Change one. I think we're probably going to add some type of clip on the bottom just to secure it onto a wire rack. But people that have been having issues with their cards getting really hot, or people that are like using grow tents and stuff, I would suggest doing something like this, only because it would then be sitting on top and not hanging with all the weight. But I mean, that's just me personally. So I'm gonna try that out. I want to put the 11 cards, because I only have 11 of those clips, on the rack hanging, and then I'm going to put the 12th one on this mount and see how that works out. So that is my plan. Yeah. So let's get to it. Man, I tell you guys what, this rig doesn't get any lighter the more you lift it up. It's crazy how heavy they actually are. So I'm gonna start disassembling the GPUs. We will get them all set up on this wire rack with the clips, and then one on that holder like I said. After that, I will figure out how to mount the motherboard, and we'll go from there, just because I didn't bring any of the motherboard clip kits with me. Unfortunately, I don't have any time to print anything for myself, which is why I'm using old hangers. So let's get to it. Real quick, before I forget to mention, I have one cable jumping from GPU to GPU. I have these undervolted to 70 watts each, so it's 140 going through this cable, and it's been stable and fine. I've had no issues, so for anybody wondering. Alright, so now I gotta cut all these zip ties loose and take off the top part of this rack so I can get to the cards that are on the bottom. So let's do that now. All right, so all the GPUs are removed. They're right here on the desk. So now we need to take these and install them on this rack. So I need these hangers. I'm gonna throw all these on, and you guys will see these all mounted on here in a second. Real quick, this hanger right here has this X. When you mount it on a older style GPU like an Rx580, this port right here hits the X and you can't flush mount it. So what you need to do is snap the X out. You just grab it with a pair of channel locks or pliers or whatever. You squeeze it a little until it cracks in the middle. Then you can just grab it and break it out. Cracks right off. That's it. So now the X is removed. I mean, yeah, you got the two little marks there, but who cares? That way you can mount it on the card with no issues. And to be honest, those X's were never there to begin with. We did that for printing purposes because when we didn't have the X, it shifted at the top for whatever reason. It wasn't like straight. This one's a little messed up, that's why we added the double X. But as you can see, it fits fine now. Just wanted to show you guys that real quick. There it is. All 12 cards hanging. I actually got another clip to work right there, so I'm not going to use that actual tabletop stand. I'll use that in another video. When I get some time to print myself some real clips, I will actually use not the prototypes, and they'll all be the same color, so that'd be nice. Alright, so I have to disassemble the rest of this rig. I have obviously the PSUs I gotta remove, all these cables, and I think what I'm gonna do is take off this motherboard, these mounts here, and just lay the motherboard on top of the rack or on the middle shelf so I can kind of run the cables to each side and do what we have to do. So let me disassemble this and I will throw everything up here and we'll go from there. Alright guys, so we got the motherboard just resting on here. Like I said, I don't have the clip kit, so I can't clip the actual motherboard to the rack. I'm just gonna lay it on top of these metal aluminum with the spacers. They have like a spacer right here if you can see it. So I'm gonna just lay it on the bottom rack like that. It should be fine. Alright, so there's the rack all built up. We have a little dilemma. I'm sitting here counting cables. I have obviously plenty of USBs, splitters. The only issue I'm finding is I don't have another C14 plug, which is the plug that goes into this spot right here, and it goes into the PDU. Currently, the cheaper power supply that I have right there takes a C14, and the P2 PSU takes a C19. If I'm going to use the server PSU, I need to use this PSU along with it. Alright, so as you can see, all the USBs are plugged in. Everything's pretty sloppy right now. I just did what I could with the choices that I had to run stuff for right now until I can actually get this in a proper setup. So now what I'm going to do is plug in all of the power cables to the breakout board and run them to each GPU. So let me do that and I'll be right back. Alright guys, there it is. Everything's plugged in. All the GPUs have their own cable going back to the server PSU. I apologize for this being a complete mess back here, but like I said, this is only temporary. I'm not leaving this rig like this. So I want to get this thing back up and running. Before I start anything up, I wanted to show you guys, I took off the motherboard cord that was feeding this board from the Game Changer. I want to save that for another day. I decided to use the motherboard cord from here to power the H110 Pro, just so I wasn't drawing too much power from this server PSU, because running all the GPUs as is already getting up to, you know, almost 900 watt area. So running all the GPUs from that one breakout board and powering the motherboard and CPU is making me a little nervous, so I wanted to break it up a bit. So I took the cord from there instead of using one of those dummy plugs like this and plugging it off so it would work. I just decided to plug that into the motherboard, and I'll use the breakout board as a normal one. All right, so yeah, let's plug this in. So there's the C19 and there's the C14. So the C14 is gonna go in here, and now the C19. So as you can see, I had to push this button so the power is going to the GPUs. Now I'm gonna hit the power button on the ASRock H110. I apologize for the lighting in here. I only have one strip light. I kind of turned it. It's bright as hell, but it's a terrible angle. All right, so there we have it. All the cards ramped up in HIVEOS. Everything's running great. All cards are registering 60 to 65 watts. She's actually running fantastic. Super cool. Definitely not as hot as it was before in the other style rig. Those right there. I mean, personally, I love our new GPU hanger clips. The top of these cards aren't hot. These are not blower style cards. Blower style cards will have issues hanging on these brackets because it is only plastic. You guys need to keep that in mind. If you're going to purchase these, please have it be a normal graphics card, not the blower style. But yeah, so next time I come back here, I am going to take out that 1600 watt PSU because I need that for a new rig that I'm going to be building. Spoiler alert. I'll end up swapping that out with another server PSU, just like this one, but it will have a normal breakout board, not the game changer like this one. So I will use this one to power the motherboard, and I will use the other one to power all of the risers and probably a couple graphics cards, just to split it up a little bit. But either way, if you guys like this video, if you guys want to see that, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Also, we do have a free Discord group called Misfit Mining. It's a great community for all you new folks that want to get into this space. There's plenty of people there that are willing to help, so feel free to join. We'd love to have you. As always, stay safe, and we'll see you next time.